but we didn't know that happened with them switching sides. Like that was not taught to us.
But really abandoned ship and said we're going on this side with it.
Right. I don't know what's taught today. Because if it was little pieces back then when we was in school, it's probably non-existent now.
Most like in today's subject, we're going to talk about the war in the... All right, now let's get to math.
That's basically how it
Let's talk about division and subtraction. What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchet REACT, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today we're back with another American reaction.
Let's get it.
Super excited about this video. If you're new to us
And
we're
we're new to you,
make sure you scroll down,
hit that subscribe button,
and turn on the post notification bell
because we're on the road to 200K.
And we cannot get there without you guys, alright? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Let's get it.
Let's begin. At number 1, if you're not familiar with it, the Philippine-American War was a bloody war and genocide that immediately followed the romanticized Spanish-American War. And according to Bishop Henry M. Turner, the Philippine-American War that began in 1899 was an unholy war of conquest. At number 2, during the war, all African-American cavalries and black infantry regiments were sent to the Philippines to fight against the Filipino revolutionaries and their struggle for independence. Many African-Americans felt that fighting in the war would reflect favorably and enhance their recognition in the United States. And the American government at that time also believed that African-Americans were immune to tropical diseases. This belief was unfounded and was solely based on their racism against black and brown people.
Like, you gotta just think about it. When war was happening, how black people had to enlist into war, and they had to be on the front line, and they had to be the first ones to do everything. Then everybody else was following along to see what they had to clean up.
Yeah, they did the things that they didn't want the other
People to do. Yeah.
Just like when we look at some of the battles that happened in the United States, like what was the battle in Houston? Yeah, it was Houston. It was a battle in Houston.
Something went down in
And they
Houston.
sent the black troops there.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and check that one again.
They have a
But
movie
yeah,
about it.
and it's different that he mentioned that dang, he said something about, I don't want to misquote him, but he said something about like the black people was doing that to kind of like get that recognition with the U.S. And I mean, you gotta kind of like think about all that the black people went through during that time to kind of get. And I'm just mentioning that because he's talking about how the African Americans was front line of this war. You know what I'm saying? So
Which kind of sucks, you know.
they was front line for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
At number 3, many in the black community were vocal in their opposition against the U.S. invasion and occupation of the Philippines. Many of their newspaper articles and their leaders, such as journalist and early civil rights movement leader Ida B. Wells Barnett, supported the idea of Philippine independence. They strongly argued against the United States subjugating non-white people and against the beginnings of American imperialism. The African American community understood very well the similarities of their struggle with that of the people of the Philippines.
But not just that though, they knew that was being used in war
And they knew it
for
was
these
wrong.
fights.
They knew
Yeah,
it was
100%.
Number 4, and it was not only the African Americans who understood this interconnected struggle. The Filipino revolutionaries also exposed black soldiers in the Philippines with propaganda to discourage them from being the instruments of white supremacy against another people of color. They addressed the similarities of lynching and racial discrimination in the United States with the violence and the bloodbath that the Americans were unleashing in the Philippines. And as a result, at number 5, many African-American soldiers defected and joined the Filipino revolutionaries. These black soldiers were welcomed and were well respected within the Filipino movement for independence. Perhaps the most well-known of them was Private David Fagan, who would later become Captain Fagan in the Philippine Revolutionary Army. Captain Fagan became so successful in fighting the American soldiers that the US government would later place a highly priced bounty on his head. The sentiments of African American soldiers in the Philippines is summed up in this quote from Sergeant Middleton W. Sadler, who wrote, "We are now arrayed to meet a common foe, men of our own hue and color. Whether it is right to reduce these people to submission is not a question for soldiers to decide. Our
Bro, when I listen to like the wars and I hear the formula they use to be successful during wars, a lot of this is some coward acts. You take African Americans, you put them at the front of your line. They go to the Philippines and they do the work that you're supposed to be doing, but they do it in a way that you see fit and suitable. And then the Philippines was able to, basically give them a reality check and say, yo, what y'all doing is wrong.
Right.
Peep game real quick on what's happening over here as well. And then the shoes on the other foot, and now the U.S. is telling them, hey, yo, we losing some people, some actually good people. I need y'all to
the
go
other side
and start knocking. Like, I need somebody to go secretly try to kill him, shoot him in the back. Like, that's some...
oaths of allegiance know neither race, color, nor nation." And another black soldier wrote, "The white man's prejudice followed the Negro to the Philippines, 10,000 miles from where it originated." In summary, black American soldiers felt closer sympathy and stood in solidarity with the brown people in their struggle, their common struggle against white imperialism. So now what? Given the current social and political climate here in the United States, it is crucial for us Filipino Americans to stand in solidarity with other oppressed and marginalized communities. The African Americans had once shed blood to fight for our people's independence, for our freedom. It is only just and right that we stand beside them as they fight to be recognized and be respected as human beings in this land of the free. Because we, people of color, immigrants, refugees, minorities, we all deserve to be treated with dignity and with regard for our basic human rights. And that is it for me today. To learn more about this topic, check out the links in the video.
Now you know what gets on my nerves.
What gets on your nerves, babe? What
Now
gets on your nerves?
it's been a long time since we learned this in school. But what gets on my nerves is that we were taught little pieces of it. Little pieces of it. Like, we knew about the war, but we didn't know intricate details.
We
knew there was a special relationship between some of the soldiers and the Filipinos, but we didn't know that happened with them switching sides. Like, that was not taught to us.
But really abandoned ship and said, we're going on this side with it.
Right. I don't know what's taught today. Because if it was little pieces back then when we was in school, it's probably non-existent now.
Most like in today's subject, we're going to talk about the war and the... All right, now let's get to math.
Basically how it
Let's talk about division and subtraction. Let's do it like that. It's crazy because it's like if you leave a dog on a chain all his life, and when you finally let him loose, he won't run. You know what I'm saying? If you leave him in a caged-in box all his life, when you finally let him loose, a lot of times, most animals, they won't leave out of that environment. You know what I'm saying? Because they are subject to it for so many years. Like
you don't know any better.
You don't know any better.
Right.
So that's sometimes when you get a reality check, you really get a reality check, and like you just change up your whole narrative of life.
Yeah. Now we do know that there's a lot of our supporters are a lot of people. I believe it's y'all parents who would be the babies of some of the marriages between some of the soldiers and the Filipinos. And you guys were telling us about this, and this has been on the list for a while, for us to react to. So just thank y'all for just letting us know the history. We would love to dig more into this.
When you start talking about like the parents in the 19s or the 18s or whatever, I start instantly thinking about the cousins, uncle, little brothers, sisters, daddy's mamas, like stuff like that. The whole family tree be coming in my head, so I be trying to piece together and everything.
Yeah, this was the early 1900s, so this would be, they would be the babies of the baby.
See, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. The cradle rock, and then the baby cried, and he grew up. That's all I knew.
Maybe two generations now, or something like
something like that.
Yeah, y'all have to let us know.
Yeah,
let us know some stories. Let us know more about this. We'd love to dig more into this. All right.
Facts.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you like to support the channel that way, as well as our reaction request form is in our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.